Today's recipe, chicken with artichokes and angel hair, I think might be one of our most popular recipes. Start off by seasoning some flour. You're gonna dredge 8 chicken cutlets in lightly seasoned flour. Take your chicken cutlets and then just lightly dredge them in the flour, turning to coat both sides, and then shaking off the excess. All right, get cooking. In this large skillet, start with about a tablespoon of oil for the first batch. Put them in a single layer. I'm probably gonna try to fit all of these in one batch. You can turn them over. You can see as the chicken turns white around the edges, when they're this thin, that basically means it's time to turn them over. I'm gonna put it on a clean tray though, so there's no cross-contamination. In the meantime, you can cook your pasta. I think that now would be a good time to start it. Salted boiling water. This is 8 ounces of angel hair. Measure a cup of stock. You want to let this chicken broth reduce by half, and you can scrape up any brown bits from the bottom of the pan. Now that the chicken broth has reduced, you can add your artichokes. It's 1 can of artichokes. They can go right in. 2 tablespoons of capers, also drained. Now I like to add the chicken back into the pan. Add 2 tablespoons of butter. Now you can drain your pasta. Serve it up. A little bit of pasta, a little bit of that, and then you can spoon some sauce on. That'll moisten the pasta and give it flavor, of course, deliciousness. And then a couple pieces of chicken, beautiful artichoke hearts, and then just a little bit of fresh parsley on top, and dinner is served. That's my kind of dinner. Today's recipe is a delicious homemade pizza, and I'm making the pizza dough because I don't often show how to make pizza dough, and I usually use store-bought. I just added 2 packages of yeast. It's active dry, not the instant yeast. Use that to 1½ cups of warm water. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar, a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and then 2 teaspoons of coarse salt. 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Stir until a sticky dough forms. This is a kind of loose dough, but it's not gonna get kneaded. You just stir it together in this bowl and then transfer it to another bowl to rise. What you're gonna wanna do is just add a little bit of oil to a clean bowl and then transfer your dough. Swirl it around. I like to turn it over. Cover with plastic wrap and let it rise in a warm but not too hot place for an hour, at least until it's doubled in bulk. When your dough is risen, get your toppings ready. Today I'm making a springy vegetable pizza with 1 pound of asparagus cut into pieces, a pint of cherry tomatoes, also halved, 1 can of the marinated artichoke hearts that are drained. Season that with a little bit of salt, and that's your topping. Stir that together, set it aside. Here's the dough. This dough is actually enough for 4 whole pizzas. Separate it into the size that you want, wrap it up, and freeze it. And then you can take it out and defrost it, just like the frozen pizza dough that you buy at the store. Once the dough is risen for an hour, you take it out. You knead it just a couple times. Cut into 4. So these can be frozen if you're not using them right away. Then you roll each piece into a 14-inch oval. Transfer it to a baking sheet. Add half of your vegetables. Have your oven preheating to 500 degrees. Pizza wants a really hot oven. Brush the edges of the dough, the exposed parts, with some of that marinade from the artichokes, and then pop it into the oven for 10 minutes. The cheese is gonna go on later. It doesn't need to cook quite as long as everything else. After 10 minutes, it's nice and golden brown and almost completely cooked. Now it's time to add the cheese. About 1½ cups to each pizza. This is Gruyere, your choice obviously of what kind of cheese you like. And then back in the oven just until the cheese melts and gets a little bit of brown spots on top. Look at that beauty. Homemade, start to finish, dough included pizza. I'm gonna make an amazing sandwich. First thing you have to do is roast a pepper. The next thing that you do is you want to salt some zucchini. So once you've sliced your zucchini, take a couple layers of paper towel, sprinkle the paper towel with salt. Just lay your zucchini on top of your salt in a single layer. That way all of your zucchini is touching some of the salt. Sprinkle the top with a little bit of salt and then put the rest of your zucchini on top of that. And then just roll it up. And the paper towel will absorb the moisture as this is sitting. I have a can of beans, white beans. So drain the beans and rinse them. Some artichoke hearts that are quartered. Just drain off the liquid. And some pepperoncini. You're probably not going to use the whole jar. Put them in a bowl. I'm gonna make a paste out of these white beans to spread on the bread. A little bit of lemon juice, squeeze that in. 1 clove of garlic. Get some oil too. Just a little bit, a tablespoon. Okay, that's it, that's the spread. Peel your pepper. After it sits and steams and under the plastic wrap, it makes it really easy to remove the blackened skin. I'm gonna cut up some parsley. You just need whole parsley leaves, about a half a cup. Voila, cut these pepperoncini up and remove the stems. This is a rustic loaf. Cut it in half. You wanna scoop some of the meat of the bread out. Save these for breadcrumbs. Spread some of your bean mixture in there. I'm gonna drizzle with a tiny bit of oil. First, you lay out all your zucchini in 1 layer. On top of that, you add your meat product of choice, the parsley, half a cup. Then the red peppers. I'm tearing them with my bare hands. Let's not forget the pepperoncini, which I will also tear with my bare hands. The artichoke hearts. Last but not least, some lovely Parmesan peels made with a vegetable peeler. Cover it right up. And then this is the most fun thing. Wrap it up really nice and tight. Cover it with a second baking sheet and then weigh it down with whatever you have. Then you just put this in the refrigerator for 3 hours or overnight. I don't know if you can see this, but it actually has flattened out quite a bit. It's really nice and compact now, which is exactly what you're looking for in a weighted sandwich. Cut it up and serve it. Wow, it's big, right? This is a fantastic sandwich.